Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. We are going to run a test with rocks today to see kind of what they do. So I'll explain a little bit about that. I'm not going to go into details about rocks. They're a new mechanic in the game. Obviously for this test, if we go into gameplay settings down here, we have rocks turned to on, field stones turned on. We have everything else turned off, so nothing else will affect our test. So none of the other plowing state, crop protection, nothing else will affect our test. We're just looking at stones today. And we're looking at a small field just so it'll be easier for me to test that's just been harvested. So it's harvested wheat. We are going to plant barley. What we are going to do, so here's the test idea. And if this is not a tutorial about how to take care of rocks and do stuff with rocks in the game or what rocks even are, I'll have a separate video about that. But this is just to test what rocks do as far as affecting yield and affecting damage. So we're going to test that. So what we're going to do, we know from the game that plows are supposed to bring up big rocks, and Cultivator is supposed to bring up small rocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to plow this field with this plow here. Then we're going to go ahead and plant barley and harvest it with those rocks still in there. Then I'm going to load the save back in. I have this game saved. I am going to then load back in, and we are going to plow the field, remove the rocks with the rock picker, then seed barley, and then harvest it. And then we're going to do the same thing with the cultivator. Now, what are we going to look at? We are going to look at, after we plow, we are going to look at the damage done to the tractor the seeder is running and the seeder itself to see what that is with and without rocks on the plowing state and the cultivating state. Then we're also going to look at the damage to the harvester and the harvester header with rocks in the field and without rocks in the field. And we're going to look at the yield with and without rocks in the field with the plow and the plow, or with the plow and the cultivator. So those are the different tests we're going to look at. So I'm going to go ahead and run those tests, and then I'll bring you guys back in and we'll talk about it. But I just wanted to give you guys a setup for what we're doing here. So we'll do that, and then I'll bring you guys back in and we'll talk about the results, and I'll put a chart up at the end to kind of show you the results that we got. All right, welcome back. So I just finished up the fourth test, so it took me a little while to get all these done. And the results are possibly inconclusive. We got some interesting things here. So first off, I want to note that I did change from using a plow to using a spader just because the shape of the field is a little easier to work with. So this is a spader here, which will also dig up big stones. So yeah, so our spader test, I'm going to put a chart up on the screen and we'll kind of walk through it. So if you see on the chart there, the first one, the spader with rocks, which means that we left the rocks in the field, we didn't pick them up. The damage to the tractor while seeding was $32. The damage to the seeder was $14. Then the harvester while harvesting, the damage to the harvester was $36, and the damage to the header was $6. So we have those. Then the yield was 2,451 liters of barley. So there you go. And rocks, that last category I added to see how many rocks we picked up the field when we did pick up rocks. Obviously, we didn't pick up rocks in that first test. Now we go down to the spader with no rocks, where we picked the rocks out of the field. The tractor and the seeder, well, the tractor went down to $31, so I would say that's about the same. And the seeder damage stayed the same. The harvester damage went down quite a bit, actually. Went down to $33, and then the header damage went down to $5, and then the yield was 2,451 liters of barley, so that makes sense. It was the same, which we didn't think it was going to affect the yield necessarily. And then rocks, we got 585 liters of rocks from picking the big rocks up. Then we go down to the cultivator. So here's where it gets interesting. The cultivator with and without rocks. So when we had the small rocks in there, not the large rocks, we had small rocks in the cultivator, big rocks with the spader. The tractor damage was $31 for each test, $14 for seeder damage in each test. And then we go to the harvester damage, $32 for each test, and then $5 to the header for each test. And then go over to the yield, 2,451 liters of barley for each test. Now, the time we did pick up rocks, we got 195 liters off of the field. So what I will note here, what it appears to be is that the small rocks don't do any damage to equipment. That's what it seems to be. No rocks will do any effect to the yield. So the yield will be the same regardless of the rock quantity. But it does look like that, and I bet you we'd see it more dramatically on a larger field, because given we also use a really small field for this, it does appear that the big rocks will do more damage, at least to the harvester. Now the seeder is, I'm going to say, inconclusive. You would think it would damage the seeder. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just the harvester it's supposed to damage. If I missed anything, or there's anything else you guys think that I need to test on this, make sure you guys let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to do more test videos. Coming out at the same time as this video is going to be a tutorial on how to pick rocks if you don't know anything about rocks and what they are, the field stones in the game. So yeah, this is a little test with the rocks or the field stones there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn on your notification bells so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching.